Hello everybody, I'm back after finishing my very first playthrough of Wuchang Fallen Feathers, and I must say, wow, what a game. It was extremely fun. It's definitely one of the better quote-unquote Souls-like games out there, and I would highly recommend it. It took me about 40 hours to get through the game, and I missed some stuff. I didn't get to do every single piece of content that this game has to offer, but hey, that's what New Game Plus is for, right? To do stuff that you missed. I must say this game was very surprising. Let me talk about some of the good things I enjoyed about it. So, you know, while the game is still fresh in my mind, I figured I'd do a quick review of it. So, for starters, let's start with the meat of the game, the combat. The combat is definitely extremely fun. It's very fast-paced and very responsive and smooth. I would compare it to something like Neo and Bloodborne. It's on the faster pace end of the spectrum. And I know that's not for everybody. It's not gonna be for everybody. Some people like the more slow, methodical gameplay of like the original Dark Souls. But you should definitely give this game a try. It has a lot of content, it does, and the combat gives you a lot of tools to work with, whether that's a myriad of different weapons, skills, and tools. There's a lot of things you can do, and I would say the game is honestly has a pretty good difficulty curve. It obviously starts off on the easier end like most games, but it does ramp up the farther you go along. But I would say whether you're a casual player or a hardcore Souls fan, and I'm by no means a hardcore Souls player. I'm more on the casual side of things, and I was able to get through the game no problem. It does get very difficult towards the end, but it's not impossible, right? Like each attempt on a boss, even if you die, it does feel like you're making progress. At least that's how it felt to me. I thoroughly enjoy the combat. There was one particular boss that took me about 2 hours of just bashing my head against it to beat it, but I felt good after defeating said boss because I felt like all the failed attempts were... It wasn't due to cheese or anything like that. It was because I was just playing bad. I was still learning the boss's pattern and everything, and it felt, let me tell you, it felt really good to finally beat that boss. So I think whether you're a casual player or a hardcore player, I think you can find a lot of fun in this game. Wuchang definitely nails it out of the park with the combat. Another aspect that I really like about this game, and it's probably my favorite part about the game, is the level design. The level design is phenomenal in my opinion. It is on par or just about as good as the Dark Souls 1 level design was. Yep. It is that good in my opinion. The fact that you can go exploring a whole area, spend like 30 minutes to an hour there, and then you're like, huh, I really wish I had a shrine. And then you turn one random corner, and then you go down this ladder, and then you go down another pathway and open another door, and voila, you're back to the main hub, or one of the main hubs. It feels so good. The level design is very well thought out. But yeah, so like I said, it took me about 40 hours to get through the game, and usually I'm on the slower pace when it comes to playing games. I like to be very thorough, which means I take my time exploring every nook and cranny, talking to all the NPCs, trying to accrue as many items and weapons as possible, set the same thing for skills. And like I said, I wasn't even able to get everything. The game is that big. There's so much content in here, but you know, there's always New Game Plus for that. There's always New Game Plus to do all the stuff you missed. But yeah, the combat is amazing. It's really fun and smooth. The level design is top tier. The bosses were all unique and varied. That was another thing I really enjoyed about the game. And as you can probably hear right now, the soundtrack is really good. The soundtrack for this game is very well composed. I enjoyed all the tracks. I don't think there was any track I disliked, to be honest. But yeah, overall, I think the game was really good. Now, let me talk about some of the negatives. So, one of my pet peeves for the game, which is kind of a positive and a negative at the same time. So, when you're holding the sprint button, if you run over an item, you automatically stop and pick it up. And, you know, that can be convenient when you're out exploring and you just walk over an item and you don't have to, like, stop manually and double tap A or X to pick up the item. You just automatically pick it up and then you can continue sprinting. However, that same mechanic has gotten me killed so many times, specifically in boss fights. So obviously, this being a Souls-like game, you drop your souls. In this case, they're called Red Mercury. So you drop your Red Mercury, and let's say you're locked into the boss and you're like strafing left to right. And obviously you're focused on the boss, but you're holding the sprint button. If you happen to walk over your Red Mercury, you'll automatically pick it up. And obviously that stops you dead in your tracks, leaving you wide open for the boss to hit you. That got me killed a few times. So that's definitely one of my pet peeves with the game. But it's not really that big of a pet peeve. Let me see. What are some other things that... Oh, you're right. My other pet peeve is that while I enjoy that the game is open-ended and you can tackle the world how you see fit, and there's multiple paths you can take. If you end up going to an area that technically you're not supposed to be in, and you clear that area, you're gonna break some NPC quest lines. The quest lines are very typical Dark Souls. They're very cryptic, and there's a good chance that your first playthrough you're gonna miss a bunch of NPCs and you're gonna break a bunch of quest lines if you play like I do. Because like I said, I'm pretty thorough and I explore everything, but unfortunately that made me miss a couple of NPCs and break their quest lines. So I ended up getting the bad ending for the game on my first run. And I think I would have gotten the good ending had I not broken some NPC quest lines by exploring an area I wasn't supposed to explore. That's my other pet peeve, but it's not really a big... Oh, I'll hate this game because of this. No, that's not like that. I don't mind. Like I said, there's always New Game Plus. I'll just do it again in New Game Plus. Let me see what else. Right, the story is very Bloodborne-like. It gives me vibes like that, and obviously, like, again, it's very Souls-like in the sense that you kind of have to piece the story yourself by reading items, talking to NPCs, and the world building, the world setting in general will tell the story, which is not bad. I enjoy that too, but don't expect don't expect Last of Us type of storytelling in this game. But it's still serviceable. I enjoyed it for what it is. Yeah, I think that honestly, I would definitely I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel to this game, or perhaps 1 or 2 DLCs. Maybe we'll get that down the line, who knows. But overall, I definitely enjoyed my time playing Wuchang Fallen Feathers, and I would highly recommend it to anybody else that's interested in Souls-like games, or even action RPGs, because this game, it feels so fast-paced that it feels like an action RPG at times. Another thing that I really enjoyed about this game, similar to Stellar Blade, is that you get a bunch of different armor sets / outfits, and you can transmog. You can basically equip the best defense armor and still look however you want to look, because you can transmog the pieces, which is nice. You can change the look of items. I wish you could do that for weapons as well, but it's only armors for now. Maybe the developers will update that later in the future. But I'm thinking more like like World of Warcraft and Monster Hunter at that stage. But yeah, I think that's honestly all the things I wanted to talk about regarding Wuchang. I definitely recommend it for anybody else that enjoys these type of games. It was definitely worth the money. I think the game is $50. It's not even like fully priced like a AAA game. So you should definitely check out Wuchang. I definitely recommend it. Well, thank you so much everybody for watching and listening to this quick review. I just figured I'd talk about it since I just finished the game and it's still fresh in my mind. If you want to watch my playthrough, I have the whole playlist on my YouTube, so feel free to check it out and make up your mind on whether you want the game or not. But yeah, until next time, I hope you all enjoyed this, and if you also enjoyed the game, feel free to leave a comment and like it. It would be extremely helpful. Thank you so much, everybody, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.